Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to construct a wooden model platform in 1-inch scale. This is similar to the platform we tested out with stage weights in last semester. So let's get started. We need our materials first. Number one is you always use a cutting mat. So you can get this anywhere, you can get this sewing supply. It doesn't have to be this big, it can be a smaller one. You can also get it at hobby stores. But you need something to cut on. Don't cut on a table. Always use a cutting mat. You will need a knife. If you can see this, this is an X-Acto knife. I highly recommend you get them. They're not very expensive. They're like little hobby scalpels. Very handy to have. Mechanical pencil. Architect scale. Architect scale. Also, at Hobby Lobby, Michaels, you can get this in the drafting supply. They're not very expensive. You will need this. They're everywhere, no problem. And you will need a metal ruler. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Not a plastic one, not the architect scale. Well, you will need that, but besides that, you will need a metal one. Not a wooden or plastic, but metal. Okay? Also, you will need some glue. My favorite is Aleene's Tacky Glue. This is Fast Grab. This is $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. Very good glue to have. You can use Sobo. You can use Elmer, but I've been using this for years. I'm a happy customer. I'm going to keep using Aleene's Tacky. Okay. Materials. Little wooden craft sticks. Popsicle sticks could be okay in a pinch, but you can get these little craft sticks that are, I believe, 1/4 inch wide. I got these Woodsies online, but you can also get them at most hobby stores, usually in the model sections, sometimes in, well, I guess in doll making sections as well. And then lastly, you need something for your plywood top. This is basswood. Balsa will work just fine, but basswood is nice and solid, nice and sturdy, so that works just as well as balsa. Okay, the assignment, as I said, is make a platform. I will have this on Canvas as well. Model platform assignment. Build a model platform that is 2 feet 6 inches wide by 5 feet 9 inches long and led to a height of 3 feet 0 inches in 1-inch scale. That is, where 1 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. Now, one other thing to keep in mind that will help you, all these pieces that I'm showing you, the plywood deck, the framing, they're all 1 inch thick in 1-inch scale, if that makes sense. So if this were reality, if these were full size, these would be 1 inch. It's a little different from real life, but don't worry about it. For the purposes of this assignment, that will work just fine. Okay. First thing we do is make the plywood top. Now, I've already started. I've cut the length out already of the basswood, and next I'm going to measure out and cut the width. It's 2 feet 6. I know you can't see this very well on the video, but there's tutorials and in the section on drafting that I did last semester, which I included in your materials on Canvas, excuse me, about how to use an architect scale. Sorry, water break. It's tough being a performer. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm going to do 2 feet 6 inches on either end using a mechanical pencil. Put a mark here. I put a mark on the other side. And then you just connect the two lines like this. Now, once I've done that, this is where the metal ruler comes into place. You need something to cut. Don't cut in space. Don't not use a metal ruler to cut the plywood top. And it's always metal. If you use plastic or wood, the knife, being very sharp, will cut into that. And it'll make a big mess, and you'll get an inaccurate cut and might possibly cut your finger, which nobody wants. You can see I put an X on one side. That's the throwaway side. I just need to know what side I don't want to keep. And we're going to do a little thing what's called scoring. Always make sure you know where your fingers are at all times. I know that sounds obvious, but You would be surprised at how many people don't realize that. We're going to score it, which means I'm going to make a couple of light cuts. And look how I'm holding the knife. I'm not choking up on it or anything. I'm holding it kind of scalpel-like. If you watch doctor shows, and shouldn't we all watch doctor shows, you will see this is how they hold a scalpel. This is a scalpel for your plywood. You keep going. You go harder each time. You start to hear a little splintering. And before you know it, you got a beautiful plywood top. Okay, discard that for the moment. Now that we've done the top, move some stuff out of the way. Let's do the frame. I have made a cut list, as you may be able to see here. Platform 2 at 2'6", stiles 2 at 5'7", and rail, toggle rail at 2'4". So let me demonstrate if I may. Because the entire thing is 2 feet 6 inches wide, just what we do is the rails on the ends will be the full length of the platform. Now for the stiles, remember I said everything is 1 inch thick, so we cut the stiles at 5'9" minus the 1 inch on either end to account for the rails, because they fit in between the rails. So that's 5'7", and the toggle rail fits in between the stiles, so that's 1 inch on either side. That's 2'4". So go back and review if you need to, or you can ask me any questions. But remember to take that into account. And the legs are 2'11", right? We're legging to a total height of 3 feet. But the legs will fit inside, underneath the plywood. So we take off 1 inch for the plywood top. So that's why they're 2'11". Diagonal braces are cut to fit, CTF. I'll show you that when we get to the end. Okay. So we have a cut list. So I'll put it here so we can refer to it. Now, I've already made some legs already. I'm going to cut one. I've already made, 2'6", so I've made the rails. I've cut 2'4", so I've made the toggle rail. Now all I need to do, I've already done one, and of course I can't find it. That's okay. I'll do two. I want to cut the stiles. And again, find the right scale. 5'7", make a mark. And because it's so small, we'll just freehand it a little bit. We don't need the metal ruler for this. We're just gonna freehand it because it's so tiny. And again, score. Keep that finger roll back. Keep that thumb tucked in if you want to hold on to it. I'm going to score it several times now. Because these are so thin, I can just break them off. If you got a crusty rough edge, you can just kind of, there we go. And I always put on the board, on the stick, the dimension. That way I can tell them apart. There's one. We'll do one more for giggles. This one might be, oh no, that one's already done. Good. Okay, so I have those. So you would lay them out. Kind of like that. There's your two outside rails, your toggle rail, and your stiles. Then you'll put them on edge and you'll glue them all together. So we'll start. Eileen's tacky glue. Put a little dab, just a dibble dab, on one end. Hold them together. This is where patience comes into play, maybe about a minute or so. We're going to say that that's a minute. Then you would do the same on the other side. I like to do, let's see, 2'6". That's why it's good to label them. This is 2'4", this is 2'6". I don't want to get them mixed up. Again,. And just hold them. This is Eileen Fast Grab. Whoops. Which means it doesn't take. If that happens, just put a little more on it. Actually, sometimes even 2 layers of glue are better than 1, so you'd be okay with that. And then you would just hold them. Now, this is a video. We don't have time to stand here and watch me hold these things for a couple of minutes. So we're going to pretend, oh look, this one's done. Here we got a done one. Now once they're drying, you have to be patient. You can hold them and put them together, but once the whole frame is put together and drying, go get a cup of coffee or something, or watch a podcast, listen to a podcast or whatever, then come back a little bit later, then you can put the deck on. We have our deck, we have our glue. Get a little thick, this tacky glue. Tacky, I guess that's okay if it gets thick. Since it's called tacky glue, it should get tacky. Put a little bit on outside, put a little bit on the toggle. And then just kind of square up the frame on your beautiful deck. There. The good thing about the tacky glue too is it usually dries clear, so it won't look too bad. And it's very water soluble. Okay, then you let that dry for a bit. Then you come back and it's time to put the legs on. I've got one started here already. I hope you can see this okay. It's got 4 legs on it. Remember, the legs are 211 because they fit inside. You might want to tear this off so you guys can, there you go, see better. I should have done that. I'm going to need that. Oh well. We'll figure it out. All right. Again. A nice dollop of tacky glue. Fits in there very nicely. And then you usually put 1 leg on either side of the toggle rail. There's 6 legs total. 2 at either end, then 1 on one side of the toggle rail and 1 on the other side. So we'll do that. Just put 1 on there. On this side. Legs are easy to put on. They don't have to hold them too much. They can just stay. Now, let's assume we're doing good. We got all that together. Now, once that dries, it's time to put on the diagonal braces. This is the thing that keeps it sturdy, that allows you to put stage weights on. So these are cut to fit. All they have to do is just kind of meet in the middle, right, on either end. And I have a very scientific way of determining this. I put it down, make a little mark, and then snap. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to cut angles. You just have to make it long enough. You want it to go down at least 2/3 if you can help it, which I didn't do with that one. There we go, that's better. This leg's still wet, but I'm going to risk it. Let's see, put a bunch here, Whoop! Ah, disaster. That's why I shifted with that leg, okay. Okay. We're going to use these other legs here. This already has some on it. We can go ahead and use it. Sorry about that. These two are going to cross a little bit. That's all right. There we go. Each leg gets 2 diagonal braces. One going one way, one going the other way. Because you have to have support on both axes, right? Pretty fancy word. There we go. That's much better. And I should hold it, but we're in a little bit of a hurry. Put this up more towards the light. You You can see, and that's it. That's basically what you do, and you let everything dry. And then once it's dry, of course, then you have your platform. You can see, this is a beautiful one done by a student. Diagonal braces on each leg going either way. Very strong. Nice frame. Nice top. Good and sturdy. And that's how you do it. It's basically glue, some bass or balsa wood, and some craft sticks. And of course, a scale, an architect scale, and some crafty tools. So that's it. I hope that helps. Thank you again for listening to my no edit tutorials, and I'll have some more later. Thank you.